Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We have just watched a Bledisloe Cup match that is going to be talked about for a very long time. As you can see there, 39 points to the All Blacks, 37 to the Wallabies. There was a lot of interesting decisions throughout this game. We're going to be breaking it down on this post-match review alongside letting you know exactly what happened throughout the contest. But first of all, we will look through at the try scorers that we did see throughout the match. First of all, it was a try for Samisoni Taukei'aho to get the All Blacks underway. Also try scorers. He got himself one in the second minute of the second half, so he was scoring very early in both halves there. Mwanga, Geordie Barrett, and also Will Jordan. The other try scorers then for the Wallabies, it was Rob Valentini who was able to go over for the first try. Callaway got himself the double, and Pete Samu scoring himself that one in the 72nd minute. But this game was a seesaw, to say the very least. The Wallabies, they were in front with 2 minutes left. Then it was Bernard Foley. He was told to kick it multiple times for the touchline after time had been turned back on. He wouldn't do it. Fekete was furious at him because of how long he did end up taking. But at the end of the day, it cost them the game, unfortunately. And I feel bad for the Wallabies because they played very well in this game. We saw 5 yellow cards, I believe, or 4 yellow cards throughout this one. You got to be kidding me. Shoot that ref. Says Trent in there. And yeah, it's unfortunate because now the Bledisloe Cup is now no longer in the running, I guess you could say. The All Blacks have retained the cup after the one BS penalty, says Trent. And yeah, it became a free kick in the end for that one. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to look back and probably get a stopwatch out to see how long he took for that one and see how long he was allowed to do. And referee didn't do anything wrong, says no, although there were a couple decisions throughout the contest that maybe were a bit 50-50. And thanks, Lord, for the victory. Love from Fiji. A Blackwash, says Samiti. So with that win, the All Blacks, they will extend their lead on the Rugby Championship table. We will go quickly through and we will go like this. So this was the table before the match. The Wallabies, they received the bonus points. So currently they are going to be sitting in second with their points differential of around 27 or so. Then, or in fact, it would be 26, sorry. Then for New Zealand, they will move up to 14. South Africa, they'd love to be able to get themselves a bonus point victory up against these South Africans, up against the Pumas. That would be a massive one for them if they can get that job done, and that is taking place on the Sunday. But Samisoni Taukei'aho did extremely well for himself throughout that matchup, of course. He did manage to do quite a bit for the All Blacks in the early stages. What we are quickly doing, ladies and gentlemen, if you're wondering what I am typing, I am sending our guests the invite for this one. We may have a couple popping in. And also we have got there, stop blaming the ref. Foley's the blame. Pretty sure the law says if time is off, until the kick is taken, so ref messed up. So I think the referee turned time off, if I'm not wrong, and then warned him after that. I'll have to go back and look at it, of course. In fact, I've got the coverage still here. I'm going to rewind it, and we're going to actually look at that. Unfortunately, I can't show it. That is due to licensing and everything along those lines, but Nick White was absolutely furious with the referee. Right. Time off. Okay, the All Blacks wanted it. One moment. We are just going to have a look back at it. So, at the time of winning the penalty is 78.5 minutes. So, 78.5. They did have that for a little bit. To those who are fuming with the ref's decision, how many bloody times do you have to be told in order to bloody pass it already, says Sebastian. And where's Rugby Guru? Hamish says, Nathan, I did actually send him an invite. I pretty much sent it to all of the people that I know. No one has joined yet. So, time off is called there. So that was 15 seconds and then time was called off. Time on. Okay, so time on, 27 seconds through. Now it's 30 seconds gone. Australia just have to kick that ball into touch. Yep, so he took 30 seconds. In fact, he took 32 seconds or 33. And Hamish, what about that offload 4 pass from Australia for the try? Says, I was certainly flat for that one. And poor Hamish did not have time to take a dump and read the newspaper, says Stephen in there as well. And also Australia to win at Eden Park, says Ruben Rose. And they'll be fired up for that game now to be able to go out there and have a good old crack at trying to make it 1-1. 1-1 would be a little bit disappointing. And still, how can you waste time when time is off, says Guy. So pretty much they used up 15, or from what I saw anyway, they used up approximately 15 to 20 seconds before time was off after winning the penalty with the referee with the hand in the air. Then from there, time was off for about 3 seconds. Then they turned time back on, used up another 15 seconds, hence being more than the 30 seconds you're allowed. And then from there, that is where it came from. So it is it's a harsh one, but by the rule book, it does make sense that it was 30 seconds. He did use it. And also, too many waste in the box. Too many time waste in the box. Do it to Ireland and the Wallabies do it. About time. I got on the ref, says Chris. Ref was right, says Obi. And don't have a go at the ref. Foley botched it. And just get ready for the next match when Artie is back. And Callaway first try was 4 pass, not going to lie. Says Champagne there. Although you could also argue Callaway's very first non-successful try was a try, as he did manage to get just a little bit of blade of grass down with the rugby ball there. His own team telling him to kick it. He didn't, says Ray Mantis. And yeah, for Kitty, you could see him. He was furious in the background. Also, Callaway was just yelling his head off. And also, we have got there, stop lying to yourself. Ref was crap, says Guy Broom. I mean, I'll admit the ref was really bad for this game at times, but that one he did get right, unfortunately. That one moment was correct. 30 seconds you're allowed to take the kick. They used up about 35. It's just the way that the rule or the law book is written. But other decisions, I agree with you. There were a couple shocking ones throughout this matchup. And also we get there robbed, says Oscar there, and just watch it back as well. Renal was spot on, says Sebastian. And also Fozzie has more license than a cat, says Ivan. And also we have got the Eden Park. It's going to be worse. And that was a short forward offload. I rewatched it like 30 times, says Ian. I woke the whole house up after that one. A ref done an awesome job. I don't know about awesome. There were some rough ones throughout that game, but yeah, it's a weird one. It's a very weird game. It looked like it should have been a lot more one-sided, but the Wallabies just had so much heart to be able to fight back. And also we have got there, let's go on. Maddie says Bros Division. And also worst call in the history of rugby, says Young there. And also how many players did we lose to injury? So New Zealand, they lost themselves David Havili, Quinn Tupaia, Sam Kane. I think another forward had a little bit of an injury there. And one on the All Blacks, says Leno, and took way too long, says Master Mel. I agree now. It was pretty shocking throughout the game that the last call was by the rule book, says Sebastian. It looks like Foley was going back to retirement. And while, guys, you can't give South Africa fans talking about the ref, and then do it yourselves. We're hypocritical, no, says Mike. And yeah, I mean, to be fair, in this one, it was probably a lot more justified, which is going to get me absolutely hate. I actually have more of a South African audience than anywhere else, fun fact. And saved by the ref, all game lads, says, or all game lols, says Red there. And also we have got there, Australia being silly mngers. I don't know why I censored buggers. All rugby champs. And yeah, finally ref was brave enough to call them on it. And all the rest suck. And it's simple, take the bloody kick and let's go. And Foley did have a good game, says Mr. Crazy Cap. And thanks for the breakdown. The final six makes sense, says Tapuna, and agreed Max, says Ray Mantis. And there as well, and 12 seconds is long, says Young. So pretty much 12 seconds after time was taken back on. So pretty much he took 12 seconds, but before that they had used up about 18 to 19 seconds. And always more justified when it's not South African speaking. No, I do, as you guys know with my commentary, I'm straight down the middle. If there's a bad call against South Africa, I'll let you know about it. But if there's like certain calls that people are just saying should be penalties for the sake of penalties, I will also let you know about that as well. So I feel like there's a nice balance. Like I mentioned, there were calls in this game that were right. There were calls in this game that were wrong. Just like every game of rugby we've seen as of late. South Africa, they've been hard done by. Argentina have been hard done by. There are a few teams that don't seem to be able to get the rub of the green. But at the end of the day, this game, I want to say it's a bit different because it was only 2 points separating them. Whereas those other games, like when it's 16 points difference between two sides and one decision is the one that people are isolating, I feel like it doesn't have as much weight on the decision. Where's the ref from? Have a guess. He was from France. They're not very, very popular, those French refs. And what a freaking game of rugby that was. It'll be interesting next week. So injuries, Peter Feta may get a run, says Nathan. I doubt it. They're going to be harsh and probably not give him a chance. Just being the devil's advocate, the ref was insanely inconsistent, says Mike. Yeah, he was not good. There were 24 penalties in this game I've just seen. 3 yellow cards, 1 yellow card for New Zealand. 3 were for Australia, I should mention as well. Darcy Swain should have been red carded. That is another one that I think was definitely the wrong decision. And then there were a couple others that I think could have easily gone against the All Blacks as well. The French usually are biased, and also the one and think the Wallabies walking towards the haka, maybe just not do that again. I mean, it worked. They were in this game. They were winning it up until that final minute. And then it just completely, I guess, debacled all the hard work that they had done. It was, like I mentioned, it was a rookie mistake from a veteran player and just didn't really make sense. And I guess you'd have to say, in the defense of Bernard Foley, he wouldn't have known how much time they did use up before time was back on. He wouldn't have known that it was about 17, 18, 19 seconds, somewhere around that margin. But what he did know was the referee repeatedly saying, you have to kick this ball now. Use it. Final warning, use it. Scrum feed to New Zealand. Meanwhile, Lalakai Fekete was absolutely flipping him, or not flipping him off, but absolutely flipping his bed. I don't know what flipping his stuff when it wasn't happening. It's not wanting to take the loss. You guys are just sore losers. When our South Africa complain that we say that we are, or you say we are whining, so stop whining, get on with your lives, says Sandeli there, and ref robbed Aussie. And what about the high tackle on Will Jordan mid-air while catching the ball, no card and penalty? That guy, or if that guy is the ref, then anyone can be the ref, and AB's deserve the win for going for a try instead of the penalty at the end. And also, what's with the haka? They're playing rugby, mate, says Max. And there as well. But looking through at some of the player stats for this contest, there were players for both sides that actually stood up well in this game. Pete Samu, I thought, was immaculate. I did question that decision of putting him in the starting lineup rather than Fraser McWright. Well and truly shut me up. He had 74 metres carried, scored a try, 4 defenders beaten, 2 clean breaks. And also, like I mentioned, was able to get that ball over the line. And thanks for the commentator, bro. We love it. Stay blessed, I should say, from Samiti. There, I appreciate you very much, mate. Looking through at New Zealand, 146 metres made by Caleb Clark. Very impressive. Actually, almost 100 running metres further than any of his teammates. 4 carries, 4 defenders beaten. 11 carries, 4 defenders beaten. 3 clean breaks. And he wasn't able to get over the try line, interestingly enough. But then Rob Valentini, he was very good as well. 14 tackles made, 2 turnovers, 1. Lalakai Fekete, I felt he really earned that number 12 spot. And shocking revving, says Mitch. And also over there, I love the All Blacks, says Matthew. And also I felt like I was watching 2 very different games between the halves, and refs have to help the ABs look average, says Mitch. And I was going wild, says Matthew, in England, Ireland, and France, well ahead of the Southern Hemisphere. And also ABs for life, New Zealand, says Cooper Cronk. And also your religion name says Ray Manchester. Appreciate that a lot, mate. Also 10 tackles made by Fraser McWright, I should mention. He didn't get a lot of game time, though, coming off the bench late and then still managed to have that impact. Looking through, Hoskins Tutu, he made 10 tackles. Scott Barrett made 11. Those are the only 2 ABs who were able to get themselves into double figures. Looking through at turnovers conceded, how many did Tom Wright give away? Out of curiosity, because I think it was a few. Penalties conceded. No, sorry, just the 1 and the yellow card. And then 2 from James Slipper. That was at scrum time that he did struggle a little bit. Penalties conceded. We saw 3 penalties against Rieko Ioane in this game, which is something some people may not have noticed during the general flow of the game. 2 from Tyrell Lomax, and up the mighty All Blacks wins a win. And also what you want the other side, or what you want the other sides to start shivering. No longer the case, mate, says Max in there. I think it's more along the sides of the culture rather than trying to intimidate the opposition rather than anything. And also Mitch isn't all that happy, says about it. And to be fair, some of those decisions, he has got a right to not be too happy with some of the calls. Like the refereeing against both sides was not good. Both sides had calls that easily could have gone against them. Both sides had calls that probably shouldn't have gone to them. But yeah, there's a lot to break down in that game. I mentioned about how we might have to do a watch along on Saturday of rewatching this game, trying to break down what actually happened, because there was plenty that did take place. Rico was great, says Kazay there, and ABs have the favour of the refs, and most corrupt refs as well, says Mitch there. And also, I love you, call me, says Matthew in there. And also, hey, Dave, can't be silly to post B players. And also, Revs Rob the Wallabies, New Zealand is killing the game. And Satutu was a big watch, having Messi on the maul and opening gaps. Big improvement, but very strong. Papali needs some time there, says Golden Guest. And also, love your commentary. Thank you very much, Matthew. Off my head off, I'm sure I woke up my neighbours And I was like, what a game, says a creeper there as well. Yeah, weird game of rugby, to say the least. And also a 4-string Wallaby side, 13 men, and the ABs nearly lost. That's a real worry, says Davey. And also World Rugby needs to evaluate their referees. It's been way below standard for too long, says Frank van der Merwe. I agree with that. I think there are certainly either the rule book or, the law book. I know people get annoyed when you call them rules. I always think of like if you break a law, you go to jail. If you break a rule, you get in trouble, which I feel like is what you get for rugby if you're offside or anything like that. But the game needs to tidy up, says Tapuna, and refs are ruining our game, says Al Dudrino. Hopefully I said that correctly. Do they have enough players available for the return game? Looks like it got very physical in the first half with injuries galore. I think both sides will be able to field a side, maybe very different looking sides than what we saw in the first match, just because of the extent of the injuries. Quintupai, I don't see returning. Havili got a concussion, I believe. Same with Sam Cane. So we might get to see quite a few changes. I want Artie at 7. But 8 is a big watch, says Golden Guest. And also Swain's tackle might have been career-ending. Atrocious, should have been red. I agree with that too. I think the fact that the first shot was probably a penalty against him anyway, with the way that he cleaned out Quintupai, but then the fact that he went for his knee, one of the hardest parts of your body to recover, really, and he just went for it cynically, twisted it. It made me just roll my face up and go, ugh. Like that, for me, is going to be a season-ending injury for Quintupai, all because Darcy Swain got hot-headed and got annoyed that he wasn't able to clean him out in a breakdown. And Mitch, have you ever played rugby? Says Nuke's there. And also, cheers, Hamish, great work. And also, Sebastian said a little bit earlier on. One moment. Here we go. We have got going to head off, Hamish. Cheers for this mental stream. It was a blast. Big love, Hamish, in the chat. And also, we have got the paying refs and breeding refs who are corrupt, says Mitch. And also, do you support the All Blacks? I am from New Zealand, but as you guys know, I do be impartial with the commentary, just because it does make it a lot easier for both sides of the equation to be able to pop in. That is why if a referee does a bad decision against one side, I won't just say it's a bad decision against that side. If the other side have that same thing, I'm also going to call it straight down the middle as best we can. And I miss your knees, or you miss your knees when they are gone, says Ray Mantis. It could have gone either way, to be honest. Cheers, Hamish. Yeah, the goat, mate, says I. And also we have got there, if this was in South Africa, that ref would need to be airlifted out of that stadium, says Al Dudorino. And also we have got there, did you support the ABs? Says Matthew. I mean, they're probably my team if I had to choose one, because I am from New Zealand, but I just love rugby. And one day the Warriors will be as good as the All Blacks, says who's your caddy. And also, I could have said something there. I was going to say they're going to have to get the refs on their side first, but I know that that's going to, I'm just going to have to slide down here because all the New Zealand fans are going to hate me. New Zealand, bad, but at least the ref made the right call for Australia. Duty play, says Cobus. And also last night, Foley wearing the jersey, and Mitch, you're a bit mad. And said the ABs need the ref to win, and ABs retain the Bledisloe Cup for another year, going on 20 years. I've seen Hamish hack some kicks at the Waimate Rugby Club. Yeah, they're pretty shocking, to be fair. They don't go well. But we've got a video, actually, maybe a part of the upcoming one for Argentina versus Springboks that we are going to be doing. And also such an undeserving victory. The way that the Wallabies fought back when they were 31 points to 19 down, a lot of people said they were out. In fact, they were 31 points to 12 down, weren't they? And they just fought hard. But, I mean, if they could take back those last couple moments, I'm certainly sure that they would. Heading to Eden Park now, it's just not quite going to have that same atmosphere as this game did. But I hope that the Wallaby supporters still get behind their side, because they laid it all out on the line there today. Like, a lesser side would have accepted about a 15-point loss and said it is what it is. But they kept on fighting. Reece Hodge, I don't even think, made his way out onto the field. Do you like the Bledisloe Cup? It's all right. I wish it was 3 matches rather than 2. I feel like having it just 2 matches, if the All Blacks win the first one, it kind of ruins it. And also, we have got in the chat, Foster still a clown, second New Zealand, says DA. And since when did a rugby game ever happen without a ref? Mitch, spit it out. Or you want me to come ref your face? Says Nix. And yes, I was beating that team the whole 80. New Zealand Rugby are killing the game. And also same says Matthew. And also, no, seriously, that was an awesome game, says Ray Mantis. Yeah. All decision making aside from the referee, from the teams, they all went out there and tried to win. And yes, there were moments that could have caused difficulty for either side to be able to get that job done, but it's still going to be one of those games that outside of this week, when we see all the controversy behind it, people are going to look back at that game and go, geez, like that had a bit of everything. It had yellow cards, had controversy, had some great runs, had some great tackles, great turnovers, and just those little moments that people will look at in the future as well. And also, we have got there, so glad New Zealand won. Otherwise, we'd have no one to troll till next week, says Cobus. And also, good to see I've grabbed everyone's attention, says Mitch. And also, we have got there, if and when we're ready to stop talking about the ref, what an amazing last 20, says I always mess up your name. Dude, Reno, hopefully I said that correctly. But yeah, both sides, just the seesaw. Look at this. Callaway, he managed to get 2 tries in a row in 5 minutes. Samu scoring as well. Then Richie Mo'unga in the 52nd. Will Jordan in the 54th. Geordie Barrett scoring that last-minute try. And I wonder, some of the eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed I have a plaster on my finger. Now, I'm not just dressed up in a suit. I also put a bow tie on my plaster, seeing as it is a special occasion. There you go. Little bow tie here. He's also dressed up. I cut my finger, unfortunately. That bloody building wrap. It's lethal. And I clearly managed to get your attention, says Mitch. And there's no next game. So they are going to be playing at Eden Park next weekend at 7:05 on the Saturday. It's just not going to be for the Bledisloe, unfortunately. It is just going to be a regular match, but it could be for the win of the Rugby Championship, perhaps, for the ABs. What a way to win the Cup, says Arthur there. And also, Wallabies wins next week. Had to wait 12 months for another shot, says Nathan. And it's in the rules, Mitch. And he warned them. And Michael Jackson fingers in the final 20 minutes. Gave me a few grey hairs. I'm only 20, says Kano. And also, we got the ABs won. So good game, Wallabies. The Kiwis had heart attacks in New Zealand. In New Zealand are killing rugby, says Mitch. Okay, says Strike. I've just realised I sent my invite to 3 people and no one joined. I feel very lonely at the moment. I think a majority of them probably, oh no, to be fair, 2 out of 3 would have wanted the Australians to win. And also we have got that normally Foster AB's pattern is win 1, lose 1. I mean, this one was lose 1, get very close to losing a second. Okay, so you're more than just a pretty face in a suit, says John Smith. Am I? Well, because I can cut myself with building wrap. And well done, AB, says Johannes. And also we got you, Amy, says Ray Mantis. And also, yep, you did, but you're not answering my question, though. Must be hard for you to explain. A says it was nukes. And also Wallabies, what a comeback in the second half. The performance from the ABs is shocking. Should have lost, but that kick. Yeah, red. A was in kicking motion. Then the referee blows, says Ryan Blair. And also we have got, there's an awesome win, All Blacks. We just need a book or to book that Argentinian referee for the World Cup. Or so that we can win. Although it was a French referee. So I think in France it would be a little bit harder for them there. And we got, says Ray Mantis, and also we've got there. So the All Blacks win the Cup. They have got it on technicality. If Australia win their next match, it's a drawn series, but they still manage to win it. And a draw would have suited the Springboks perfectly, says Yanni. Yeah, there was a part of me, I believe at halftime when it was 10-10, I was like, if this game is a draw, like it's just going to make everything else so much more that they are pretty much going to be able to fight for. Do you like Bowden Barry? Decent play. He had a couple good moments in this game. Also had a couple little questionable ones, just like he always does. And also Karma's thanks, Swain, says Paul Rava. I guess that's a good point, really. Darcy Swain could have been off the field for longer than 10 minutes. But I believe we're only 20-minute red cards, aren't we? So it might not have been as bad being off for 20 minutes. But, yeah, it could have been an interesting one. We have also got the Hamish in the chat. Good first name. Share it with myself. That ref is a complete effort, says Hamish. And there were a lot of rough ones in there. And live bait, what a scam. Also, almost signed up. False web pages, text and email scams MFs in there, says Newbink. Okay. And also we got how good it is Thursday footy, 76 points, driving more tries, length of the field tries, card clutch, kicks, injuries, controversy. Almost as exciting as that game. I played in heaven with Lowell scoring the match winner, says Roger McKay. Good game, Hammy. I got 5 hours of sleep, but I had good bacon and egg quiche in the morning and a ticket to 20 or had a ticket for 20 mil on Saturday. Will be nice, my man. And also we have got their disgrace to rugby, says Mitch, and also Ben Dover was the ref's name, right? Harry says Casey. And man of the match, ABs choose Foley in Japan will win the Rugby World Cup, says DA. They are still an up-and-coming side. And Foley was pretty good for his first time back in ages. And so, yeah, he didn't do too badly for himself. out there on the park. Just a little moment. Do you like Geordie Barrett? I like him, but I don't like him at fullback when Will Jordan's available. I'm South African, so I don't like Nick White. But what a kick, says Calvin. Yeah, 48 metres out to nail it was extremely impressive for himself. But looking through at some of the other stats, I did mention player stats, but we'll look through a little bit more in depth now, and we'll look at the overall stats of this game. I believe possession would be pretty 50-50. In fact, a lot of the scoring and everything along those lines. And also, we got the other broadcasts they had on YouTube. Got me, not phony address, says Newbank. And there as well. Or note phony address. Oh, the other ones that would have had like the link in the chat. You shouldn't click on those, because straight away, for one, they try and get your information. Two, they'll try and give you a virus. And three, half the time their streams go down so you can't actually watch the games. But whereabouts are you located, Newbank? Do let me know, because depending on where you are in the world, you may be able to actually watch these games for free, roughly. I have to say roughly because there may be a slight expense depending on where you are. And also, French refs are absolutely clueless. And also, we have got the New Zealand Rugby is killing the sport. And also, F&AB's most undeserved. And there, yeah, I agree. The fact that the Wallabies fought back the way that they did, they showed so much heart. They should have been able to seal out the game. All they needed was that kick into touch, line out one, couple phases, kick it out, and head into the Bledisloe Cup match 2, 1-0 up. But unfortunately, just making that little mistake at the end. What's the controversial call everyone is talking about in the 79th minute? So pretty much it did use up about 18 seconds after the penalty was won by Australia. The referee stopped the time. He then turned the time back on about 5 seconds later. And then because they took 30 seconds in total, it was only about 12 seconds that next time, which I guess you could say he is hard done by because of the fact that he did have some of the time before the kick. Because what happens if you use 29, then the referee stops play? You've only got 1 second to kick. So it was a rough one, but he was warned many times to kick it into touch. Foley decided to wait as long as physically possible, and then he did end up getting himself a free kick against him. And also, Wallabies didn't outplay the All Blacks tonight. It wasn't a controversial call. The reversal call by the ref isn't uncommon, says Paul Rava, and the ref told him to kick the ball exactly right. So that is the thing that in the replay that we do watch, we are probably going to be listening out for every little thing like that. A 34-all draw would have been an awesome result. It would have been absolutely incredible to see that. And funny thing is, Australia chose the ref for this game, says Obi, and also pathetic. Wallabies should not play the ABs. As we all know, we will lose, so keep the Bledisloe. We're a second-tier team. Have played well past we have played well past expectations. I enjoy watching you with. And there says Pat. And also, when did you see a ref make that exact call, says Mitch? It's been a while. I've seen I believe it's a time-wasting one for a goal kick, not for an in-play kick. Goal kicking, you've got 60 seconds to be able to line it up. Whereas for a general play kick, to be fair, the last time I probably saw it, not in a real game, but on Rugby Challenge 4, I took too long. And why beg the stupid guy take the ball off him and kick it out? That would have been a brilliant clip. If Lalakai Foketi just walked up to Nick White, walked up to Bernard Foley, stole it, and just booted it, gave him the middle finger, and said, "What were you doing, bud?" Rugby does not need 2 refs. And then also we have got, might as well hand the World Cup to the ABs already, says Mitch. And probably a bit of justice there, considering Aussie should have had a red card, says G2 Geeks. Yeah, that is another decision that could have easily gone the other way. And they want to love your videos, but been a treat to catch you live. Keep it up, brother, says Scott. So our next one, we are going to be live for the South Africa versus Argentina match of the Rugby Championship. That is going to be taking place at 7:10 a.m. New Zealand time on Sunday morning. Also alongside that, Kiwi Lad Sport, we are going to be doing a little bit of NRL. On this channel, we've got the Bunnings NBC, the New Zealand domestic competition, and also the URC that is starting up this weekend, with our first one being, I believe, Cardiff versus Munster. That should be an exciting contest and great game. Ref aside, oh, what a crazy game, says Sir MC. Yeah, that game had a lot going on in it, which is why I think I'm going to have to rewatch it again just to really get my mind around everything that happened. So I guess the question is, I did ask it a little bit earlier on, but are you guys interested in seeing a replay watch along of this one? Pretty much the gist of that would be, I guess we watch the game. I tell you guys what time I started it, etc. So you guys can watch along with those who are able to watch replays. And then we just look through, we break down what happened. We'll get a little bit more of a casual approach of looking through at what actually happened in that game at times. Winning the World Cup is only a dream now, Kiwi says Max. And also got Argentina to win, to be honest, should be a good game. And also we've got 100%, I'll get some beers, says Scott there. And also, yes, says DA. And yes, says Jad. And also, I'm still watching delayed coverage, says Noob. And there as well, I'd imagine the Wallabies locker room, they'll be gutted. Absolutely gutted. Because one little moment, you'd have to say it wasn't just that moment, though. There were other times in that match. But one little moment really cost them the Bledisloe at that time. And yes, good idea, says DA. So I should mention we still won't be able to show match footage, sadly, just because of licensing and everything along those lines. But pretty much we'll be able to sync all of our clocks up so that we are able to pretty much, I guess, find a way. I'm only interested if the replay is pre-recorded now. Here's Stephen. So pretty much, I guess it would be probably we all watch it live on our own respective devices. So I know in New Zealand you'll be able to watch it on Sky for an option. Stan Sport will have it in Australia. And also I came back, what's the score? Or what a scoreline. Yeah, there's some big old stuff that happened in this game. I'm surprised the ref didn't seal Nick White's mustache. And just for fuggery from Swain, or just for fuggery from Swain, is there judiciary for Swain, or he goes free with a yellow? I wonder if Tapia shook his hand. Don't blame him if he didn't. Yeah, that was just dirty, I think is the best way of describing it. Darcy Swain in through the side after already getting a shot into Quintupai. He decided that wasn't enough. Instead, he wanted to try and pretty much end the guy's season. If not, I mean, career might be too much of a statement at this stage, but, you know, once you start getting those knee injuries, they can get pretty lethal for you overall, right? I do see one of my guests is in the bottom corner at the moment. He is currently drinking a pint, or it might actually be water, or he might be on the lemonade at this stage. One moment, ladies and gentlemen, we'll just put the scoreline down the bottom of the field or the bottom of the screen, and then we will be able to get our guest in. Some of you guys will know Tony from Distracted Sports. He will have quite a bit to say with this one. Some maybe slightly inappropriate language, so I just put that out there now for the apology of what may be said by this man. He has possibly consumed a few beverages, so it's always risky. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen, myself and Tony of Distracted Sports.
Let's fucking go. This is it.
Oh, no.
We're
every single one.
We're here. Oh, my God.
Hello.
Gosh. Hello. How are you, Hamish?
I'm doing very well. You are a stop-motion movie at the moment.
Am I? It's not a good reception.
No, not the best, but it looks like, you know, you're slowly speeding up. What did you think of the game, first of all? How hectic was that last couple of minutes?
I was in a glass of emotion, but like, I don't know, like there were a lot of firsts that I saw there. I've never seen that scream five saying kick the mother effing ball. They were all screaming, kick the ball, kick the effing ball. He was taking the piss. There's got to be a line, and he crossed it, you know, like, because that's what the whole game came down to. Like, we can go through the ins and outs of the 80 minutes of football that happened there, from the dominant start the All Blacks had to the fact that they were 20 points up, almost 20 points up at one point, to let it all completely go. But at the end of the day, it came down to that moment, an incredible moment. But in all fairness to the referee, there has to be a line, and he called that line. Like, have you ever seen players around a first five saying kick the effing mother effing? I'm trying not to swear. I've got so many swear words.
Very well at the moment.
I have so many swear words in me, but I'm not saying them. But have you ever seen that in your days, Hamish?
I don't think so. I've seen like one player going over annoyed afterwards, but not a grouping of, like, you saw Lalakai Fekete, Andrew Callaway even back in the random background saying kick it, and then it just ended up at the end. Oh, you've gone very clear now.
Oh, do I look
That's
nice?
Good. Oh, you look all right. Have you had a haircut?
I've had a chop on top. I'm drinking a gin and tonic, by the way. I'm in the beautiful Northland of New Zealand right now in Omapiri, and there aren't many places on earth more beautiful than where I am right now.
That right.
Just a little plug for Omapiri.
There you go.
Mm.
And also should have called time off, ruined a great contest. Never seen anything like it. Although they did call time off. There was
but they did call time
second.
off, but you can call time off, and they call time off to get rid of all the nonsense and the penalty and all that sort of stuff. They call time on, and he's like, okay, it's time on. Kick the ball. And he didn't kick the ball. And he's like, hurry up, kick the ball. He didn't kick the ball. You need to kick the ball now or it's going to be infringement. All the other players start screaming at him, going, you need to kick the I've never seen other players scream at a player to kick the ball. He was taking the piss to the absolute limit, and he crossed the limit. Bernard Foley screwed the pooch. He absolutely screwed the pooch. All the Wallabies needed to do in that incredible game. I've got so many thoughts about that game, but the key moment was that call. They were all screaming him to kick the fucking ball, and he didn't kick it. And rightly, he got the infringement against him. So, look, I would be so bitter and butthurt if I was an Aussie supporter right now. I really would be. But I think the referee did the right thing. I don't know. What were your thoughts, Hamish? I know you like to be impartial. I know you like to say, if I had to support a team, it's not that I've lived in New Zealand all 22 years of my life and I only knew New Zealanders. All my friends are New Zealanders, but I have to support. I would have to support New Zealand. By the way, you're a New Zealand supporter. You are, aren't you? You are.
I mean, I'm pretty impartial at times.
Oh, don't you start that crap with me. You're gonna get in trouble, young man. You are a New Zealand fan.
I felt that call for that situation was correct. I don't think a majority of some of the other calls throughout the game were, though. We saw quite a few.
I was doing my job. I was at a work event. It's like buying people alcohol. That's what I do for a job. So I was trying to be as engaged as I possibly could be. What were the calls in the game that you felt that were 50-50 that didn't quite go the way?
Darcy Swain's yellow card, I thought was probably pretty lucky. Definitely because of the shot he had put in just beforehand.
You thought it should have been
I think chopping out a player's knee when he's in almost a split position and giving him a season-ending injury seems pretty dirty to me. Seems like one of those ones. Yeah, I think so. But then there was also one that I called earlier on. I mean, Andrew Callaway's first try, I think, should have been awarded. I think he got some sort of ball on the grass.
No, he
did
not.
Showed it. There was a little bit. There was a little bit of grass there.
You're saying things. He did. There was no let's play. I'll re-upload this. You and us chatting, and I will go. Here's the point where Hamish was wrong because there was never a point of the ball touching.
You got to show all the angles, though. You can't shaft me. You got to show all the angles because one of the angles showed ball on grass.
I will eagerly await that freeze frame. Await the freeze frame that you're talking about because I watched it and I looked at all the angles. It got incredibly close. I feel like if he was more cognizant of the situation, he could have put that ball down. There was no reason he could have put that ball. It couldn't have put that ball down. But he screwed the pooch. It was
also the pass on the outside was open for that one. If he had just done one more pass,
you would be absolutely. The Wallabies played bloody well. They really did to get back in that game from 30. What was it? 31-13.
Something like that. You by the toilets?
No, I'm in a hotel right now. Hello. How are you? Nice to chat. I'm in a hotel in the Marpiti, and people are trying to clean up around me, basically saying, fuck off, Tony.
That's nice.
Yeah, aren't they nice? So, look, I can show you some real New Zealand artwork. Would you like to see some real New Zealand artwork?
You might have to hold it still for a while once you do show it, because you are back to 2 pixels a second.
I'm sorry. I can see you really clearly, if it makes you feel any better.
No, that makes me feel a lot better.
Look at me and this guy. That's some good stuff. And then and also me and this person.
Oh, yes. Who is that?
That's not
I feel like they're a person from the story was
Moana.
Hmm?
Okay. And then we
Moana?
travel on this person's timeline, and then there are people traveling along the seas.
Oh, yes.
That's not. And if we keep traveling along, it goes further, and we find ourselves a nice little tuatara.
Nice.
That's nice.
It's
This
very
is
well.
Northland. And then if we keep going along this way, we find ourselves. Is this good rugby content?
Oh, it's great. There's a dolphin.
A nice little dolphin. Dolphin and a child. This is beautiful stuff. But look, at the end of the day, I think I would be very, very upset if I was an Aussie fan right now. But I think the ref made the right call at that last moment. The All Blacks played terribly to blow basically a 19-point lead to let the Wallabies back into it. The frailties are still there, wildly exposed for all to see, for all to take advantage of. We've still got those moments of brilliance, but we are. I think we were very, very lucky to come out with the victory there. And look, I'm looking forward to doing your post-match comments. And next time I do post-match comments, you know where they're going to be?
On the Kiwi Lads channel?
At the fucking stadium, man. I will be at Eden Park. Next time, I'm so committed to the Kiwi Lads. I will be at Eden Park making post-match comments. How about that?
Finding some angry AB fans, eh? After the Wallabies draw the series.
Yeah. But mate, I don't know. I don't think I added anything of quality there. But hey, any great comments? Like most of the time when I come on your channel, people castle me about the room I'm in. Any comments about the room I'm in?
You've had a few. You want me to read you off some of the nicer or the not so nice comments you've had?
Tony. Yeah, let's go.
Okay, we'll rattle them off. So we've got straight away, he's drunk. Get this man off. Also, there's a few others. You got a few.
A few nice ones? Anything nice?
I might have to look a bit harder. But
oh god,
Sweet as I said, ditch the drunk douche.
Oh god, Sweet as. Oh, that guy comments on all my videos. Zach, I'm gonna.
Is he normally like nice to you, or?
I don't. He's nothing. Oh no, Sweet as you are something. I'm sure you're a human, but like, doesn't add a lot. Really, he just says, "Oh." He's more an antagonizer than anything else, which is okay. Antagonizer way, Sweet as. But look, what a pleasure to see you tonight, Hamish. And how are you feeling about the game?
I'm feeling all right. I feel bad for the Wallabies, of course, because, like I said, all it takes is Bernard Foley to kick that ball into touch. You win the line out, 2 phases, you boot it out, and then from there, you head into Eden Park 1-0 up. At worst, you're drawing the Bledisloe Cup series, which is why 2 matches is still really annoying. Have it as 3. Find an extra week somewhere, even if it is a midweek game. You know?
But like I found I'm obviously very happy we've tucked away the Bledisloe Cup as an All Black fan, but there was a little part of me going, as knowing that I've got tickets to the Bledisloe Cup game, going, man, it would be so much more exciting knowing that it was all on the line for that game, you know?
A 34-34 draw like it looked like it could have been. That would have been.
It was very close to being that way.
Because I know that South Africans, they were really hoping Aussie could beat us here. Because with Eden Park around the corner, it just made sense that it would be 1-1. And now I guess the pressure is back on South Africa. They need to win this game if they still want a chance of winning the Rugby Championship. Yeah.
That's right. Should we do a bit of role play?
Some role play? How many beverages have you had?
No. Okay, I'll be Dave Rennie, right? Okay. And you be Bernard Foley. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And you're feeling really, really terrible about what just transpired. Okay.
Fair enough. Hey, Dave.
Okay, wait. I'll call action when it's time for action. Okay, you ready? So you're in the changing. I'll set the scene. You're in the changing room, and I've just come.
I'll just take all my clothes. Should I? There we go. Right, here we go.
Okay. Action.
Hey?
That was a tough one, wasn't it?
It was.
Hey, you're right.
I'm a bit sad. You know, it was right at the end. Yeah, I didn't kick the ball out.
What were you thinking? What was going on?
Use up a bit more time. I can hear a cat licking himself. It's quite loud. I don't know why there's a cat in the changing sheds.
Why is there a cat in the changing room? Someone get rid of these cats. For God's sake, I did this so many times.
That's reminding me of something, though. We'll skip the role play for now. What was up with who decided to have 50 fireworks go off at the start of the game in an indoor stadium?
It was the silliest. Hello, sir. It was the silliest thing. I was just saying hello to one of the hotel staff there. That was. They literally made fog indoors, like it was the dumbest. And it was just so like for 38 minutes of the game, there was a very weird visual effect going on across the whole field.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I said it before they even let off one firework. Or, in fact, they let off the first, and I was like, right, that'll do. Because or else then, like, this isn't going to clear by the time we even get, like, deep into the game.
Like, if the Kiwi lads in Distracted Sports were in charge of the broadcast, it would never have happened, would it?
No, we wouldn't have had fireworks, but we would have had something, you know? We would have had to find something big. We would have had, like, a mascot on a motorbike doing, like, a backflip or something just to get the mood up in the crowd.
What would be your ideal mascot?
My ideal mascot would be one that... Have you seen the MLR?
Major League Rugby.
That is the one, yes.
Yes.
There is a panther who wears a cool kit. He's jacked and he rides in on a Harley Davidson. That's my ideal mindset when I need a mascot, you know?
That's way better than what I had in mind.
What was yours? Just some random guy wearing a Burger King helmet?
No, my idea was basically somebody who's just wearing a full body ball sack outfit that sort of just...
Oh, he's gone. And that's the note that oh no, he's back. I can hear him. Hello. Oh, we're playing stop motion.
I'm back.
Are you sure you're back? You kind of look like you're doing gang signs at the moment.
But like just
I think we've lost Tony. I think Tony's almost gone from us. But thank you, Tony, if you can hear me. I'm sure we'll catch up soon.
Hello.
Oh, hello again.
Like, basically, a swinging pair of testicles.
You're cutting in and out. And all I can hear is you're talking about some gonads, bud.
How are you there?
I'm here. I think we'll see you later, Tony. You enjoy your gin and tonic, yes?
Can you see me?
I can see you, but you're frozen.
I've got to go.
Okay. Oh, well. I'll see you later, bud. I was waiting for the buy. I didn't get it in the end. Unfortunate. And also, we heard there in the chat, Filthy Grubs, can you speak English? Says Gregory. Certainly can. And also, we have got the Kiwis will probably 53-3 Australia at Eden Park. And also, he's already gone, says Ray Mantis. And also, we have got there by Tony, says Ray Mantis. And your lag, my bro, keeps still, says Nathan. Yeah, that was probably some of the worst lag I've ever seen. And... He's still... Oh, no, he just disconnected. I was going to say he's still frozen in that same position in the, like, backstage area. And also, we have there, come on if you want, just finish my reaction video, says a rugby itch. in there as well. I mean, we could pop in for 10 minutes or so if you like, Rugby Itch. If you are keen, it's currently 12:55 here in New Zealand. I think I sent you the invite there, and also we have got the Waikato to go unbeaten in the NPC. They're looking like a tough side at the moment, but I'm not too sure whether or not unbeaten will be what they can do for the contest. I think they'll be up there, though. I think they're going to be top 2 in their group, and Dial stay strong. And then also we have got there just when he mentioned Bulls, he got cut off, says Prime Minister, and the ABs accurately played drunk one time, or actually played drunk one time back in the 40s, I think. They were so drunk that the wingers played in props and fullback at lock, etc., etc. You get the drift, says Dan Peck. That is impressive that they would go intoxicated. I know that my dad's cricket team used to play drunk because they were normally better. But the problem was the later in the day that they played, the more drunk they were. So they slowly started going down and down and down until the point of them just all being sloshed and not being able to really play. So if they had an early game, it was fine. They'd have a couple beverages and then you get on the rack again. But yeah, just going after the first kind of couple hours. The spring chickens will come last, says Australian Cry Baby. That's a nice new name that you've changed to. And also Eden Parker Stadium, 50 years old compared to Marvel Stadium, says Gregory Miller. And there's Marvel Stadium. New atmosphere for both sides to play in. A stadium with a roof, really, was something that even, New Zealand, you've only got Forsyth Bar. Which other Australian stadiums have a roof on them? That's the question. Stadiums that play rugby union, that is. Do let me know. Which other stadiums have they got for the Australians? We're trying to think through them. I can't think of too many. And also we have got there, imagine Keith Murdoch drunk, says Cooper Cronk, and also Cheers Sweet as, says Nathan there as well. So currently we are just waiting to see if Rugby Itch is going to be popping on. Maybe. He might be in the process. If not, then we will surely do a video next week when we are doing the All Blacks prediction for their upcoming contest, which is going to be a pretty awesome one. And based on pattern and championship so far, Australia should win the next one, says De Montari. And there, yeah, it seems to just be win-loss, win-loss, win-loss for every side. Theoretically, whoever wins this first match between Argentina and Springboks should lose the second, which is why Argentina, I think their best bet is to win it this weekend while they are in Buenos Aires. I see that there's actually a stadium change as well for that contest. They've had to change it. Thanks for your time, Amish. Got work in 4 hours. Going to hear about it tomorrow. Cheers, everyone. Go to the ABs and marvellous games, Aussies. But where did this rule come in? If you slow the game, a penalty can be changed, says Willem. So pretty much it is a 30-second time. I guess it's just that rare that we never actually see it. This time we did see it, and it did cost the Wallabies dearly in that one. But nonetheless, our guest has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. So we will go like this, and we will go like this. There we go. Hello, Rugby Itch.
How are you, man?
I'm doing very well, thank you, mate. I still have you tuned up to level 100 for your microphone, so I'm going to cut you down a little bit. There we go.
There you go.
So, what a game, eh? Very tight.
Just mind blown. Absolutely mind blown from that game, to be perfectly honest, guys. I literally just made a video just on my live reaction to the game, and I just can't believe how the referee, it was very inconsistent, to say the least. That's really all I kind of addressed within the video, just the calls that he made, because some of the calls were obviously perfectly normal for what you expect, particularly with that. I think the Darcy Swain yellow was definitely the correct call, because that was definitely one. Same with Dr. Bali, kind of both deserved cards in that sense. The one for Jake Gordon, I believe, was kind of harsh, because I don't know. I didn't really agree with that one, but in terms of that decision at the end, I was just so mind blown with that decision for the Foley one. I was like, I thought they won it. I literally thought the Wallabies won it. I was up in my chair. I was like, oh my gosh, they've actually done it. I didn't actually think they would come back into the game as well, guys. So yeah, I was just mind blown. But yeah, just wow. Just I'm in shock. I really am in shock. I mean, what did you think about the game? Of course,
I agree with you that there was very much some inconsistency with the referees, but it was such a weird first half. We had 3 yellow cards. There was also, just the 2 tries being scored, one for Valentini, one for Samasoni Takeaho, who had a very good game in the process. And then we also saw the injury of David Havili, We saw the injury of Quintupaya. We saw the injury of Sam Cane. Our prediction video next week is going to be all over the place because we've got to find about 4 or 5 different players. And even the Wallabies, they had the injury of Rob Leota. James Slipper had some ice on the calf.
Yeah.
It just seems like everyone at the moment, I don't know whether it's because of a long Super Rugby season that they've then now gone into international duty and just are slowly picking up injury, and then it just continues to go on and you end up kind of re-hurting it. But Lalakai Fekete, I thought, played very well for the number 12 jersey. He seemed very fired up at the end.
Brilliant.
And then also Andrew Callaway, he was very impressive. There's almost every match a different referee who focuses heavily on different aspects the one before and so on, says Jordan. I agree. And that's the thing. They say they've got the law book for a reason, and it should be black and white, but every referee seems to see it a different shade of grey at the moment.
Exactly.
It just doesn't seem to quite have that consistency that you need at international level.
No, I couldn't agree more. Even like you guys have to remember that I'm a Bok fan, and I could even tell when it came towards that final in 2019, the ref was heavily in favor of a team who would do better with in terms of the scrum setup and lineup setup, because he will give more penalties for that than, if you win it within a turnover. So it's a very different thing, obviously, within this game, because it was more in terms of we saw many turnovers from both sides. And even the scrum, the Wallabies actually did better in the scrum, I'd say, on the day compared to the All Blacks. So they did well in that department. But in terms of the silly decisions in terms of knocking over the ball and both teams obviously had that on the day because it was very evenly matched, I'd say. But yeah, it's just an incredible game overall. I mean, I was really impressed by both sides. Just, the high scoring of the game. Was it 39, 37 at the end of the day? Just unbelievable. So, obviously, fair play to both sides. Obviously, great for the All Blacks to retain that Bledisloe Cup, because that's definitely an important thing to keep. Kind of just as the haters, you could say, for for Ian Foster, and obviously that's the first time the All Blacks have got back-to-back wins as well in this year. So that's a weird thing to say, but obviously it's a very good stepping stone. Obviously, as the autumn internationals obviously come up as well. So a good time to get a bit of form back on for the All Blacks. So really impressed with them.
And so many injuries, surely some changes for the ABs. Ian Foster gives Steve O'Perafeta a run next week. I want to see it, but I don't think it happens. I think because they haven't had the injuries at fullback, I think they're once again probably going to go Will Jordan at 14. Sever Reese might come off the bench, I think. Could have a decent chance. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, I think, has a decent crack of being able to make it in now that we've lost 2 inside centres. But
I was going to say maybe you could even give Brandon Enor maybe a try as well, because he's also another player who hasn't had that many minutes in the All Black jersey. But totally agree with you. It's really the center department, which that's really going to be the main focus in terms of who they select ahead of, Havili and Quintupaya, who both may not be available. So it's going to be very interesting to see who they pick in that 12 jersey.
And with Ardie Savia back in the side, do you see him slotting in at 7 or 8?
Oh, 8, 100%. It's not even a doubt, because with Sam, I think with Sam Cane, yes, he can slot within that 7 spot, but the problem is that you could maybe go Luke Jacobson. He's really the only other player if you want to put within the 7 jersey, or you just go Dalton Papali'i at 7, you start him, then you go Sevilla at 8. I think it'd be a good time to kind of test that out. But it'll be interesting to see what they do, of course, because I still think they'll go with Barrett at 6, Scott Barrett at 6, and then obviously keep Retallick and Whitelock. So obviously that's the case. But like you said, many changes for both sides, and that definitely had an effect on the game as well, because obviously, like I was saying before, the yellow cards definitely had an effect, but the injuries for both sides, I said more in the case of the All Blacks, definitely had an effect in terms of what happened in the latter stages of the game.
Because that's the thing. We had a right reshuffle in that back line. Beauden Barrett, I believe, was playing 15 at one point. Geordie Barrett then came on and played it inside, or he played it inside centre. So we were actually seeing Geordie Barrett for the first time in the midfield. And you would have thought that would open up the door for Will Jordan to get a chance at fullback. Nope. He goes staying out on that wing. He scored himself the try at least, which was very beneficial for the ABs.
Brilliant try. I actually thought when he scored that try, the game was over. I literally thought the All Blacks had it in the bag. They were just the momentum would be with them. Because, the All Blacks, the Wallabies were down, I think, 2 men during that time as well. So really everything was going the All Blacks' way. But then, the Wallabies just something clicked, and they really just kind of rampaged through this All Blacks defense and just scored like 2 tries in quick succession, and then the players came back on as well, kind of built a lot of momentum. So yeah, it was great, obviously, from the Wallaby point of view as well, because they definitely did well to obviously come back into the game and actually take the lead, which was even more impressive. But yeah, at the end of the day, the All Blacks were just, they took the opportunity and obviously got the try. So obviously credit to them, because they definitely deserve that win at the end of the day. So yeah, fair play.
And a bonus point win now for a bonus point loss for the Wallabies.
Oh, okay.
They get an extra point. So they are actually still in the running for the Rugby Championship. Now, I was told the other day that the Rugby Championship is being decided after 2 sides are on the same points. It's actually being decided on tries scored rather than points differential. I don't know whether or not that was a correct fact, but that is what I was told, which is interesting, because straight away that makes me think that, there's a chance that South Africa are at a bit of a disadvantage. They're not known for scoring a huge amount of tries, but they are known for winning games. So where does that line kind of cross over? They've got their game up against the Pumas. Do you see them putting on a big score now that they know this is pretty much a must win to be able to get over in the Rugby Championship?
Yeah, no, I believe so. Going into this game, I thought it was going to be a tight contest, to be perfectly honest. I didn't think it would be as high scoring, but I did think it would be a tight contest. For the Safa game for Argentina, when they go against the Pumas, I think I could be wrong here, guys, but I do believe it will be one-sided, just because I've seen a different Springbok team for the last game they played against the Wallabies, and we saw a completely different, Pumas team to what they faced against the All Blacks in the round before, because they got wiped out essentially by the All Blacks in that game. So if we see those same 2 teams, then yes, I think the All Blacks could be the Springboks could be on for a bit of a running here and get a few tries on the board. But like you said, the Springboks aren't known for their tries. So yeah, you never know. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But I am confident. I am confident as a Bok fan.
Alrighty, because I know that the roller coaster has been, everyone's been going up and down, up and down. You said you saw a different side up against the Wallabies, but the week before we saw a different Springbok side, and then the week before that, a different Springbok side up against the All Blacks. So I guess with the selections, they haven't got too many changes overall. I believe Elton Yankees, he's certainly not going to be there.
Definitely
he's
not.
too busy
Definitely not the case.
Doing the dirty with the dietitian, isn't he?
Indeed. And then obviously with Pollard and Amat as well. So that's big losses in that department as well. But Elton, I don't know what he. When I saw that story, I just looked laughing. I was like, "Oh my gosh, great!"
The man is normally hated anyway.
Exactly.
Right? But now I've seen some people hating him because they find the dietitian attractive, and they're like, "That sucks, Elton, because you did it and we did it." And it's like, the guy, he's never going to be able to do anything. I think he posted a picture with his family the next day, which probably wasn't the best idea, maybe. And if the ref called time, should it or shouldn't it be off until Foley kicks, says Alex. So pretty much the gist of what happened for that last one, and I watched it back a couple of times because I was confused at the time. So the Springboks, the Wallabies, they had about 17 seconds where they didn't take the kick after winning the penalty. Bernard Foley was set up. He was ready to kick it. 17 seconds passes. Then they say time off because something's happening to the side. 3 or 4 seconds passes. They go, okay, never mind, time back on. Then he's got around 13 seconds to be able to take that kick because they've already used up the time. Referee says use it. Doesn't listen. Use it, or you're going to get pretty much infringed. We're gonna take it off you. His teammates in the background, Lalakai Faketi and Callaway, losing their absolute marbles, trying to shout at him to kick it. And then the 32 seconds passes when you are only allowed the 30.
Yeah.
And then this turned out, it was just a sucky way to end it for the Wallabies because there are so many guys in that side that put absolutely everything into that game. Lalakai Faketi, I felt he was brilliant coming in at number 12. Pete Samu, he was sensational. 74 meters carried for the big man. Also scoring that lovely try with Marika Koramberi going in and out, just like they were playing some sort.
I will be honest though, I'll play kind of like the devil's advocate and what you just said essentially for the time thing. I do believe that like there was obviously pressure on the on what was it, Foley, obviously, to take the kick quickly. And I did see also the Fouquetti just kick the ball. Like, you could see in the background, like not a lot of them, but you could see like at the end, Fouquetti was like the one player who was like just you saw him doing this, and I was like, man, but at the time, like you and me both didn't actually see it when we first watched it. We had kind of watched a replay first to actually understand actually what happened. And when I saw that, I was like, whoa, what's happened? And then literally, when you realize that the clock when he went down, because obviously, like you said, with like there was like a break in between the time where they put the time off, and then they reset the time once more, put it back on, and then obviously Foley just took forever essentially to actually do it. And then as he's about to do it, obviously the referee makes the kind of the executive decision essentially to just be like, no, we're gonna give a scrum right here, which I believe is the right call at the end of the day. But at the same time, if he's about to kick it right there, that's where I'm a bit like, ooh. I mean, you could have just allowed that let the kick, because it looked. I mean, look, I could be wrong here because he was in the kicking motion. But if he just kicked it there, then obviously it would be a different story on the day. But yeah, just a crazy game, guys. A lot of questions, obviously, in terms of the I guess the refereeing at the least. But at the end of the day, I want to really focus more on the game because I thought both sides were actually brilliant in what they produced, obviously. I mean, the All Blacks obviously were the team that got off the game, started essentially, but the the Wallabies came back into it, and then obviously the All Blacks secured it. So I thought it was a really good game for both sides. If they can put a similar performance into next week, that'd be great, because I think, I mean, what I know you said that the Wallabies have a slight chance, but what does this put now in terms of the points tally in terms of the Rugby Championship at the moment?
Okay, so the Wallabies, they find themselves sitting on 10 points. The All Blacks, they are currently, I'm just going to have a quick check just to make sure that I get this exactly correct. But the All Blacks, I believe now are sitting on 14 points.
Yeah, 14.
So Australia, if they bet the All Blacks with a bonus point, theoretically, they would be able to win the Rugby Championship. But South Africa still have their game up against Argentina. Someone of those two are getting themselves theoretically 4 points. So that will put them up to 14 as well. Two sides are going to be sitting, that will put them on to 13. So two sides are going to be sitting on 14 or 13 at the end of this round, unless this is a draw between South Africa and Argentina, and then it could be everything to play for in the final last little while. So, certainly going to be a close finish to a Rugby Championship, just like this game was. At the end of the day, I think I'm going to have to rewatch that game like 5 times. I talked about it on the live stream, though. I said, refereeing and everything aside, like, if you watch this game back in a few months or so when it doesn't actually hurt in terms of seeing the result, like, both sides had some great rugby out there. The fact that it was 39-37, it was just comeback after comeback. And then the Wallabies, they just didn't want to give up. They had a heart the size of Africa, but they just couldn't get it over the line.
No.
And it was a bit of a shame for them. And also, this win, to some extent, covers over several problems, especially on defence, says the reviewer there. And I can't see South Africa or Argentina getting bonus points, says Cooper Cronk. Although, maybe you said that you thought South Africa might be able to sneak themselves.
You never know.
With a comfortable one.
Yeah, I think, I don't know why, but I feel I'm more confident in the Box getting a bonus point win away than at home, because for some reason I feel like they're a bit more, I guess, kind of what's the word? Kind of secure, but I guess like safest at least when they're playing at home, as they don't score as many tries. But yeah, no, we'll have to wait and see what happens, of course, because that game I believe is on a Saturday, so we still have a few more days before that actually gets kicked off. But yeah, I'll be watching that for sure. I'll be doing the live stream hopefully, so that'll be good.
And Hamish, do New Zealand won the finals in rugby finals in both the men and the women? I assume you are talking about the Rugby World Cup, and no, we lost both. Unfortunately, Australia beating us in the women's and Fiji beating us in the men. So we got a couple silvers in the cabinet, and a game so close it's considered a draw in my book, says Newbink. And sounds like the last 20 minutes were a real nightmare for the AB's bench. Needs a serious look, says Tuxter. Although, to the bench's defence, they had already used up a few of their players. Like Papali had to play about 60. They did have Quintapai go off with an injury when he probably would have gone in the second. It's no excuse for the fact that they did let off so much. Like at the end of the day, it was still not the best work, but they did have a couple short of what they would have liked. I felt Bowden Barrett actually had a decent impact off the bench which is quite a nice touch.
No,
Because
he was
normally
great. Yeah.
he does go a little bit 50-50 when Mo'unga starts. It seems to be he either finds his mojo early or he just kind of goes, nah, just go out there, do a few kicks. They worked today, though, the kicking options. His little chip to Will Jordan.
Oh, it was brilliant. I could be wrong in saying this because I have to kind of recall the tries once more, but that was probably my favorite try the All Blacks scored. I can't think of the other tries. I don't know why, because I know Tukala'o scored the first try, and then he scored a second one, which was they went towards the left-hand side, and he kind of just decided to go by himself, which is a good moment. But that Beauden Barrett accuracy in the air, Will Jordan just collects it, shifts, kind of does a little sidestep, goes towards the right-hand side. Just classic Will Jordan. So I thought that was a good combination right there from both of them. I thought the best try from the Wallabies actually at the end of the day was Pete Samu's try. I think that's the best try in the game. I'm not sure if you agree with that or not, but I just thought it was so
nice. Silky skills.
I was mind blown, like how he kept in touch, that he did the offload, then Corbetti, as he's getting taken down, passes it out. He runs. I'm like, oh my God, what have I just seen? And then obviously, Bernard Foley, I mean, on the day as well, brilliant Iceman, obviously I believe he converted every one of his conversions, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So, hey, I'll be perfectly honest, guys. This may be a hot take here, but I would take Bernard Foley as the second choice 10 behind Noah Seo for the World Cup. I wouldn't choose James O'Connor or Quade Cooper. That may be a hot take there, but I'm being perfectly honest. I think Bernard Foley, he suited the system so well. But if I had to say man of the match for the day, I'm going to do it for both sides because I just feel like you have to do it for both sides just because of how close the game was. For the Wallabies, I mean, you could put Foley in there. I think is the obvious, but I actually want to say Foketi was probably the one player I was impressed by in terms of his passing game because I thought he would be actually a weakness in this game because of Hunter Basami not being available, but he blew my mind. His passing it was just perfect timing. Every single pass he made. So I thought he was my man of the match. You could put Pete Sum in the conversation as well, but I'm going with Foketi. And then for the All Blacks, I mean, I think you have to go. I mean, there's a lot you can choose from. I mean, you have Tukala'o, you got Richie. I thought you did pretty well. You got Caleb Clark had a good game actually. Now that I think about Caleb Clark, he had a very good game in terms of sucking the defense. This is tough. That's a tough. You know what? This may be a bold call, but I think I just have to go with him. Is Reiko? I'm gonna go with Reiko Lani. I just thought
he wasn't even in the running, was he?
No, he was. I thought he was brilliant. But the thing is that the only reason why I'm saying that is because he did that try-saving tackle at the beginning, which I was like, I'll be honest, guys. I literally thought that was a try. I was like, how's this not a try? And then when they show the replay again and again, I'm like, oh my God, he's actually done it again. Like this, he just keeps saving tries. It's like a specialty of his. Like if there was like a Pokemon card and had Reiko on it, it would be like his power thing would be like saving a try. It'd be, I just I was shocked. I was like, oh my gosh, this guy. I mean, I love it because he's a Blues player, but I was just like, oh, he's killing me here.
Just very briefly, right? What is your Discord name? Out of curiosity, Rugby Itch.
Oh, jeez. I mean, we're getting to this now. It's guys. I mean, you have to know that I'm a Blues fan. So before I say this, there is obviously a Blues bias in terms of my Discord name, but it's Reiko 13 essentially. So,
and who's the profile picture?
Yeah, exactly. Reiko's my profile. Just have to do it. Have to do it. He's. I'm trying to think if he is probably my favorite player. He's definitely. I mean, even and there's kind of like kind of putting me under the bus now even more. But like I have him even as like my where it's like I can even show you it's like a little. Will it do it here? I'm not sure. Yeah, there you go. It does
there you go. That's a bit fancy.
Like, ooh, Reiko. So
I don't even know my phone can do that.
Well, no, the way you actually can do it, I mean, it's just a bit of a tip for anyone. I don't use, out of all the social medias, TikTok isn't the one I use. It's one of the only ones I don't use. But the way you do it is that you go onto TikTok and you do a video, I don't know, whatever. So I went on the Blues page or whatever, and then you can save it and then put it onto your, I guess, lock screen. So just a tip for anyone who obviously wants to do the same thing. But yeah, Reiko's my guy. I mean, Reiko is really my favorite player. He's my favorite player, and I've watched him from literally his first game for the Blues to everything he's done now. So he's done well. He's done well. But
Yes.
what about you? But before I head off, because obviously I want you to. You should be tired, so I know you're definitely wanting to head off soon. But I just want to know your man of the matches essentially.
So man of the match, I
yeah.
have two for each side, just
Yeah.
because it's too hard to pick one, because it's kind of a whole different thing, really. Because for the Wallabies, I'd say it was Andrew Callaway, and then alongside that, I'd have to give it to Pete Samu. So those are my two, like, kind of forward and back.
Yeah, exactly.
And then also for the All Blacks, I'll go Samasoni Takiaho, just because he really had a good impact. Line out was accurate, helped the All Blacks throughout some tougher times in the game. And then also I give it to Caleb Clark, 150 meters carried in that contest.
He was brilliant.
Sebastian said the amount of bias has dragged me ass back. Rico's man of the match. Says Sebastian.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. But yeah, I love that. Like Tamadar is like, who's this joker on the right? He has no idea what he's talking about. That's brilliant. That's great.
Rugby, or not rugby, sorry, Distracted Sports got grilled as well when he joined. Fun fact.
Really? Oh, he's great. What are you guys on about? He's great. Love his banter. I love his banter.
And Swain has to get cited. You get a red for accidentally knocking someone's head, says Alex there. Yeah. Like, that's the thing. For me, if I was in charge, I would have had that one as a red card, just because it just was so cynical.
Yeah, no, I'll be perfectly honest. The Darcy Swain one, that's the one with the just to be before I say it, it's the one with the leg, right, where he gets Quintapaya when he's going back. Is that the correct one?
Quintapaya's kind of crouched in the breakdown, and then Darcy Swain pretty much knee chops.
He comes from the side and gets the leg and kind of makes it even more painful. As soon as I saw it, I was like, this is 100% a yellow, but it can also be a red. So I was in that. So either way, it had to be a sin bin. So I'm not going to disagree with the ref's decision, because I knew it was a yellow, but he could have gone with red there. So yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you there if it was a red as well, because that was definitely on the definitely there as well. But yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm going to have to watch that game back a few times.
For sure.
To make sure that I do catch all the action. But nonetheless, I think we are almost at the end of this video or / live stream. So thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. As you guys know, myself and Rugby Itch, we do a few videos throughout the week. Normally it is the preview of the Springboks and the preview of the All Blacks for our predictions. Everyone saying me, Hamish says, Nathan, and also we have got there in the chat, this is so cringe, but you've been watching for 15 minutes, Skinnier. So I'll tell you. Also, 12-month ban too, I reckon, says Sweet As. And you probably answered this question lots of times. Do you fancy Rico at 13 or 11? Says Sebastian.
Tough question, but I would have to say 13, because you now have Caleb Clark there, who's doing so well at the 11 jersey that I wouldn't want Rico to kind of transition back into 11 jerseys. So, and I'd say the 13 jersey, it's literally his to lose at the moment. So yeah, I'd say 13 for that question there. Yeah, great question, Sebastian.
And 11 says Tuxter in there as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing. Is he too far deep into outside centre now?
Oh,
because
for sure. He's
I
literally
love him out on the wing, but like you mentioned, Caleb Clark, unless Caleb Clark goes to 14, and then from there, you could look at Will Jordan finally getting that fullback shot, because when is he going to? He's got to at some stage.
I'd rather have Severese at 14 than Caleb Clark, because he suits the 14 jersey more. And Caleb Clark is literally like, I've seen a comment here already from what is it, Jack Good game. Caleb is long move. Like he's the same type of player where you want the big man, your big winger on the left hand side. So yeah, that's the reason why I would have Caleb in that left within the 11 jersey. But yeah, Reiko, he's literally made that 13 jersey his own. Like I can't see anyone really taking it off him, except one player, which is Anton Brown, because he has obviously a lot of experience under his belt. And I'm not going to really question if they go with him over Reiko, because I understand the experience is obviously an added factor. But since the time which Anton Brown has been on the sidelines, Reiko is just steadily making that jersey his jersey, that jersey even more. So yeah, it's gonna be tough to get it off him.
But nonetheless, I guess that is going to be the end. We have been going for an hour and 20 minutes, which is quite impressive overall for the review. You haven't got the biggest fan in Tavana at this point by the looks of it. The Lord of the Wings, 11 Lomu, says that Nathan there as well. But nonetheless, we do thank you all very much for tuning in to this review. If you didn't enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I am going to be back for the Springboks versus Pumas that has taken place at about 7:10 a.m. That is going to be on Sunday morning, but we will be starting a little bit earlier. We've got a few things planned for the build-up of that contest, so be sure, stay tuned for that. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in, and we will see you all for the next